bankroll can be your enemy if you think too highly of it or not highly enough of it, right? If you think, I've got so much bankroll, I can't be beat by a martingale or a ladder, your bankroll becomes your enemy, right? If you only have 500 bucks and you're trying to win 500 bucks and you're going to put too much of that at risk with no backing bankroll, your bankroll becomes your enemy. Right? When you're building strategies, you got to take everything into account, right? Your goals, your mindset, your bankroll, all of it. At the core of everything is this, okay? And here we are in class 4 of Gambling 401 talking about exposure, okay? And exposure, I think, is one of the things that's kind of below the waves that we don't talk about enough, but I think it's really important when you're crafting strategy and ways to play. So, what is it? Right? I talk about exposure all the time. It is the ways that we lose, right? It's how we lose. Okay. One way you can lose is time, right? Being out there too long will get you. We all talk about the law of big numbers, right? Or the law of large numbers. I've talked about this in the math series. The longer you're out there, the expected thing will happen. Okay. If you sit out and again, on my cruise that I was just on, saw 260 something shooters. That's a lot of shooters. The spread of all those shooters, we got to basically law of big numbers on the boat with regards to come out sevens, with regards to come out winners and losers, with regards to points being hit, PSOs, all those things pretty much at expectation, right? At a casino, when you only see maybe 8 shooters in a session, you're never going to get there. You're never going to see law of large numbers, things pan out in a tiny little session like that, right? The longer you're there, the more likely you are to see what you expect to see. And what you expect to see is your ass losing because the casino has you, right? The way that the house edge works, the way that the payments work, the way that the odds and everything else works, it's all against you, but it's all against you over 1,000, 10,000, a million rolls, right? The longer you're there, the more you play. Guys that play for 50, 60 years are encountering this over their lifetime. That's how they get you, right? Another way to be exposed is by the donks. What beats you? We'll talk about that here in a minute. What are the things on the table or the outcomes out there that get you? What takes your money away, right? You can be exposed minimally for money, but have almost everything on the table. Like a $1 bet on one number in roulette. You're exposed for $1, but you have 35 ways to lose it, or 37, or 36 ways to lose it, 37 ways to lose it rather, right? That's what I'm talking about. What beats you? What takes your money, okay? And the last way to be exposed is with your money. How much do you stand to lose? What does it look like when it goes upside down for you? Right? So taking all those things into account as you're building your strategy, and again, tying your goal and your strategy together, you got to take exposure into account and how it's going to take you in many directions. So the first enemy I always talk about is time. How long is it going to take me to win my money? Right? Let's say I'm looking to win a simple $100, an easy example, right? If I'm going to try and win $100, $10 at a time, how many times do I need to win? Right? I'm sorry, it should be 10 times 10, not 10 times. It's 10 times 10. I got to win 10 times to win $100 at $10 bets, right? That could take a long time. In roulette, if you have the perfect run, it's going to be 10 spins, 10 perfect spins to win $100, right? If you lose in there, remember your losses compound, right? If you don't get 10 in a row, you lose one. Now you got to win 11. You lose one, you got to win 12. You're always chasing the loss because the losses add up and they compound how long it takes. If you're looking at $100, $25 at a time, you just need 4, right? Put 4 quarters out there on some bet on a roulette table and win it, on the red, win it 4 times and you're done. Put $50 out there twice, put $100 out there once. Okay. How long will it take? If you're looking to win $100 and you put one bet out there, you could be out in one roll, one spin, one outcome, one bet in blackjack. Okay. You reduce the amount of time, you reduce the number of chances the casino has to take it from you. And that's an important thing to remember. Okay. A single bet, same bet, right? In my mind, we go bigger. If you're going to do it with a higher bet level, go big. Right? If that's your plan. If you're going to press a little bit, take a medium-sized swing at it. Go out there at maybe half of your goal. Like take a $25 or $50 bet, take a press, and then take a hit and you're done, right? You can reduce it down to 2 hits and be out of there quicker. If you've got a lot of bankroll, you can go smaller and ride it out because you can survive the ups, and the downs. You can even ladder up a bigger bet and say, look, I'm going to go out there $100 bet, right? I'm going to ladder up and down. And as long as one of those bets comes through for you, you're going to be okay. You're fighting against the nightmare scenario, but you're putting your bankroll to it to reduce the amount of time that you're there. Okay. All these things matter, right? If you're going to ladder and you're okay with it taking 100 rolls, I've watched Waylon's Way Craps, right? You all probably have too. He has a lot of strategies where we do these ladders, right? You lose, you go up, win, come down, lose, go up, win, come down, right? And he wins. He wins, he'll take $5,000, he'll win, $700. Watch the videos though. Watch the videos. It doesn't happen quickly. It's a 15-minute video because he's rolling fast, right? Sometimes there's 70 or 80 rolls in there. Sometimes it's 70 rolls to make the $500. Sometimes it's 50 rolls to make $250. Sometimes it's 35 rolls to make $1,000, right? With these ladder systems that he's doing. What you're not seeing in the video and what he's not calling out is the time factor. You got to have massive bankroll to survive the time that it takes. It's not about surviving the loss. It is, but it's about surviving the time that it takes to recover that loss. You need to be out there for 60, 70 rolls to make some of these things work. When I was doing my daily paycheck shows in the early days, we did a lot of strategies where I needed to get 6, 7, 8, 10 wins to win. I'd be out there sometimes for an hour and a half rolling 120 rolls to make $100 because we got beat early and had to fight back, right? Time is a bitch. It is really, really hard to fight. And I think when you're making a strategy, account for that. Account for it. If you're okay with the $10 bet size and you're okay with it taking 10 wins to get there, you've got to find a way to play that makes that not suck so bad with regards to what beats you. Okay. Your nemesis, what is it that beats you? Here's some examples. Okay. In craps, when you're making place bets, you have 6 ways to lose. Your nemesis is the 7. Okay. Remember also that when your numbers aren't hitting, it's a waste, right? You got the place bets up there. You get a horn number that rolls. You're not getting paid, right? It's like a non-factor, but 6 ways to lose on your place bets. If you're hopping the bet, let's say you're doing a hop bet. Let's say I'm going to hop the 6, 2, 8, $1 on that one bet. How many ways can I lose that bet? Well, I can lose it every single way. 6 ways to lose to the 7, right? I'm going to lose that bet on the 2 ways to roll the actual number that are not the one I hopped on and everything else, right? When you're hopping bets, you're getting everything. It beats you. If you're playing the field, there's 20 ways to lose the field bet. It's a hopping bet too, but there's 20 ways to lose. Yeah, you're going to win a unit, but you've got 20 ways to get killed on that thing. So think about that. What beats you? When you put money out there, how many ways can that thing lose? Is an important thing. In roulette, for example, the dozen. You bet 1 dozen, it pays 2 to 1. 26 ways to lose it, 12 ways to win it. If you add a second dozen, you take that down. Now you have 14 ways to lose, which is great. You've reduced almost by half the number of ways that you can get beat. You've decreased the power of your nemesis. However, you also cut in half the size of your win. Okay. So this tug of war you've got between how much money I got out there, how much coverage of the table do I have, and what's my win when it goes well is interesting, right? When you add the second dozen, you double your exposure in terms of money, and you half your win. You double the risk, half the win when you do that, but you reduced the overall power of your nemesis, right? Same thing goes through with the bankroll, right? What do you stand to lose versus what you're going to win? That's what I'm talking about. The considerations, how much of your session bankroll is out there on the outcome? You buy in for $1,000, or are you putting $500 out there? You buy in for $1,000, you're putting $100 out there. 10% versus 50% of your money. That's a consideration. Now, sometimes 50% of your money is a smart move, right? In my daily paycheck, buying for $6,000, I go out $3,600 across. You're like, ooh, or $3,200 across, it's 50% risk. You're like, God, he's crazy, right? But I reduce my time. I take 2 hits. I'm not going to be out there for 15 hits. I'm going to dodge the 7 for 2 rolls and be out. Okay. I purposely taking more bankroll for less time. The tug of war, right? How much of that master bankroll is at risk in the session? How much did I pull out of the ATM If I've got 10 grand in the bank, that I pull out 5 to play today, or that I pull out 1 to play today, or to pull out 500 to play today, how much of that is at risk, right? Your bankroll can be your enemy if you think too highly of it or not highly enough of it, right? If you think I've got so much bankroll, I can't be beat by a martingale or a ladder, your bankroll becomes your enemy, right? If you only have $500 and you're trying to win $500 and you're going to put too much of that at risk with no backing bankroll, your bankroll becomes your enemy. So be careful of that. Consider how your bankroll plays into it. And again, how much will one loss take from you? The example I gave earlier on a roulette table, right? You put one bet out there, $5, let's say on a number, on one number. A loss takes $5. A win wins you whatever, $105 or $75, whatever it is, right? That's what happens when you consider what does one loss versus one win take. If you're betting the dozens, one loss takes 1 unit. A win wins you 2. You bet 2 dozens, one loss takes 2 units. A win wins you 1 unit net. So again, that balance, I think, is a big piece of it. So as you strategize through this, think about ways when you're building strategies, how you maximize and minimize the overall exposure you've got. Okay. Exposure to me is a zero-sum game. It's like a pulley system. I'm giving this example of like a pulley, right? Bigger bets, less time. Bigger bets, longer. Like there's a metric in there that you're going to have to find that says if I have huge bets, I want to be out there for less time, right? Huge bets means bigger part of my bankroll. So you got to have this sense of balance between things. Okay, larger bets versus smaller bets. Smaller bets for a long period of time. Larger bets for a short period of time. Right? Do you have multiple requirements to win? Right? Today we did a strategy called the hopper, where I took an inside hit, reinvested all the money for one roll. Right? I have to get the perfect second roll to win. Otherwise, nothing happened. Right? Know when you're collecting. And the big question is, can you reduce exposure as you go? Right? If you have $100 out there and you win 25 and you pull that 25 in profit back, now your exposure has been reduced to $75. And you got to take a look at this kind of reduced level of exposure as you go, right? If you can do that. That's why we say always be collecting, because your exposure bankroll wise reduces while your time increases. And again, it's a balance. It's definitely like I said, it's a pulley system. There's a little bit of give and take in here. And I think it is zero sum. I think that's an important thing for you all to remember, that it is a zero sum game. You can't fix all of it. You can't have huge bets for a tiny bit of time and nothing beats you, right? The bigger the bet, the bigger your bankroll is exposed, right? The shorter the time is, but you may have less things to bet on because you can't afford to, right? So a huge bet on one number means you have more ways to lose, maybe less time, right? It's a whole thing. So that's where I think you've got to craft your strategies and ways of playing with these things in mind. So that's my talk about exposure. When you build your strategy, consider all of it. The time it takes to win, how much you're going to risk, and all the ways you can lose it. And if you can minimize any of that, minimize your financial risk, minimize what beats you, right? You're left with the other. And that's going to be the real thing you've got to kind of like strategize for. So again, when you put it all together, it's difficult. I've been lucky in the fact that my bankrolls, my paycheck series, I'm optimizing my series, right? With bigger bets and less time, right? So I'm going out there for larger bets to reduce my time, which means my exposure from bankroll is big. I had to choose one, right? I chose massive bankroll exposure for a short time with bigger bets. So my optimization was done with that. Okay. I optimized for time. I also optimized for more coverage. Give me all the numbers. Give me all the across. Give me the horn. Give me 2 rolls, right? My time is literally 2 or 3 rolls. My bankroll exposure is massive, but my time comes way down, and I only have 6 ways to lose out of 36 numbers. So I've chosen those ways to optimize versus smaller bets and trying to get it to work forever. I think time is the one that scares me the most. So, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team, learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.